1 in 4 defendants last year got deals that let them avoid going to trial and being labeled a felon. 8 on Your Side investigator Walt Buteau is looking into why that is the case. Walt?
Stacy and Keith, prosecutors and child advocates agree these crimes are sickening, but there's a sharp disagreement about punishment and what happens when someone admits they're guilty. Before they're caught, suspects lurk over keyboards sharing unthinkable images of innocent children. Child advocate Peggy Cornett wants harsher sentences.
Those people are just as guilty as that person who initiated that very first photo.
You got to understand.
Tampa attorney Chris Regano was arrested last year after he was caught with dozens of images. As part of a plea agreement with the Hillsborough County State Attorney and with a judge's approval, Regano received withhold of adjudication. That means he is not a convicted felon and retains rights like voting and owning a firearm. His attorney points out he will still be a registered sex offender for life.
So even though he's not a convicted felon, he still has all those requirements, which is no internet, and then random searches.
Data we obtained shows last year there were plea agreements in 55 out of the 57 Hillsborough County child porn possession cases, and in about 25% of those cases, judges approved withhold of adjudication.
Now this guy was a lawyer or is a lawyer, and they withhold adjudication, and he's not a felon. Is he still a lawyer? Seems like it. What, of all cases, why would they withhold adjudication on this? And if they've got so much evidence, why do they need to make a plea at all? I don't get it. They said the evidence is strong. It's electronic. So why are they making these plea bargains? And why are they withholding adjudication? And are these people, they're not felons, so can they get a job anywhere? Probably.
The facts of all these cases are so disgusting, they make you want to throw up.
State Attorney Andrew Warren tells me withhold of adjudication has been used for first offenders who are unlikely to reoffend. And he says long sentences do not always stick.
You want to lock them up and throw away the key, but that's not the law in Florida.
But the stats anger Cornett, who says the children are victims for life. First when they're assaulted, and then when the images are shared.
So there's 2 life sentences for this child, and this sex offender is getting withhold adjudication. Why?
Should the system allow you to put them away longer?
Well, the system in Florida ranks crimes by severity. Possessing child pornography is a 3rd-degree felony, the same level of crime as possessing an ounce of marijuana.
Warren also says in his office, the typical child porn defendant receives, on average, 7 years in prison. But Keith and Stacy, Cornett would argue, and other critics would argue, that they want longer sentences no matter what the issue is.
And why didn't Warren's office bring a single child porn case to trial last year?
Well, what they tell us is that these defendants choose plea agreements because the evidence against them is typically very strong. Think about it. It's electronic. It's recorded. You can't get rid of it off your computer. So according to Warren and others, that's why these
so
defendants...
They settle
because they realize they're going to lose. Yeah. They're going to lose if they go to court.
All right. Thank you, Walt. Well, if you have something you'd like Walt to investigate, you can call the 8 on Your Side helpline at 1-800-338-0808.